Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the D-Pad Discourse. This edition will be for a week that started on August 10th, 2014, aka the week of Gamescom. Alright, well, last week was Gamescom, and it was really good. I think Microsoft and Sony had really good conferences. I felt that their conferences had more surprises than their E3 conferences did, and I really enjoyed both conferences in terms of what they showed when it came to gaming content. But overall, the biggest, I would say, announcement that came out of Gamescom between Microsoft and Sony's conferences was, in Microsoft's conference, the fact that Tomb Raider would be a holiday 2015 exclusive for the Xbox One. Now, during the conference, they said holiday 2015 exclusive for the Xbox One, and there was people that assumed, or thought, I should say, that meant that the new Tomb Raider, the Rise of the Tomb Raider, would be an exclusive for the Xbox One, and that it will come out during holiday 2015, the holiday season of 2015. But I saw that as it's going to be an exclusive only for that period, only for the holiday 2015 period, and that it will be coming to other platforms after that. So that's how I took it when they announced that. But then you had so many journalists saying, oh, Microsoft locked it up, you know, this is a full exclusive, it's not time. And then you had other journalists saying, no, it's time. And it got really confusing. On my Twitter feed, I saw a bunch of journalists as well as people retweeting journalists saying, you know, saying it was a full exclusive, and others saying it was a time exclusive. So overall, I think that Microsoft should have been more clear in terms of what the Rise of the Tomb Raider was in terms of its exclusivity on the Xbox One. They should have just came out and said it's a timed exclusive for the Xbox One, that it's just coming out first on Xbox One. Even that would have been much better and more clear than saying it's a holiday 2015 exclusive for the Xbox One. And news came out, I would say about, I believe it was a day after that that Microsoft confirmed that it was a time exclusive. So again, I feel that they should have just said, you know, this game is coming out first on the Xbox One, since that would have been more clear than saying it's a holiday 2015 exclusive for the Xbox One. Anyway, a lot of people are mad about this, which is understandable. There's more people with PS4s than there are people with Xbox Ones, and Tomb Raider, the previous Tomb Raider game, the Tomb Raider reboot, was a multi-platform game that came out on various consoles at the same time. So this is different too, in the fact that it's, you know, a game whose, well, excuse me, it's a sequel that will only be coming out on one platform, at least for a period of time. You know, we still know how long it will be. It could be 3 months, could be 6 months, could be a whole year. We don't know, but overall, it was pretty surprising, because many people expected the game to be multi-platform when it was originally announced back at E3. Now, these deals, even though these deals aren't beneficial for gamers, really, you know, they really only benefit the companies that are involved. And in this case, it benefits Microsoft, since they have a exclusive game, or at least a timed exclusive game, that won't be coming out on other platforms, so they could advertise it and hype it up, saying, hey, buy our box, because our box is the only box that has this game during this time. And then Square, or Crystal Dynamics, benefited, since they got money from Microsoft. I don't know how much money, but it had to be a ton of money for them to lock that up in terms of the time exclusive period. But you know, it doesn't benefit gamers, because, you know, originally the game was going to come out to various platforms, and, you know, people that have Xbox One right now, you know, they still would have got the game anyway, even before this exclusive deal. But the people with PS4s, you know, they can't get the game. So overall, I understand why people are upset about this deal. But these deals have been happening every gen. last gen, in a similar fashion, Rock Band 2 got an exclusive deal from Microsoft, and that was a month, and it was only on the Xbox 360 for a month, and it came out to other platforms, I believe, and it came out to other platforms a month later, and that was a game whose predecessor was multi-platform on on various platforms, the Xbox 360 and PS3. But then when it came to Rock Band 2, that came out on Xbox 360 first. So Microsoft has been doing these, Microsoft has made these deals before. They made them last gen. So it's funny to see people, get mad at Microsoft right now when they have a history of doing this. People saying, oh, this is the last straw for Microsoft. I don't know what's gone with them since the Xbox One launch. And it's like, all you gotta do is look at some of the multi-platform releases on the Xbox 360 and realize that this is what Microsoft does. And I really think that Microsoft will be doing this even more in the future because they're behind in terms of sales for the PS4, and they really need some major games on their platform, whether full exclusive or timed exclusive, to make the box more attractive in comparison to the competition. As of right now, in terms of exclusives, the PS4, in terms of the holiday 2015 period, all we know that the PS4 has is Uncharted. But now, in terms of the Xbox One, we know that the Xbox One has Halo 5 and The Rise of Tomb Raider. And both systems will still have multi-platform games. Probably the sequels to the multi-platform games are coming out in a few months. It creates competition because one box has Uncharted, while the other box has Halo and Tomb Raider. Both boxes have big games, so it's like, if you can only buy one, which one will you choose? And Microsoft pretty much stated that they wanted a game to compete with Uncharted, and I think that Tomb Raider can't do that because there's always been comparisons when it came to Tomb Raider to Uncharted and vice versa. So it's going to be interesting to see how well this game does in terms of whether or not it was worth it for Microsoft to have this exclusivity deal for The Rise of Tomb Raider. Now, in terms of what other platforms Tomb Raider will come out on, it seems guaranteed that it's going to come out on PC. I don't know when, but I would say it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to come out eventually to PC. But when it comes to other consoles like the PS4, I still feel that it's kind of up in the air because recent statements from Microsoft, they've stated that they are putting money into developing Tomb Raider. Now, that could mean that they're putting money into developing the Xbox One version, or it could mean just a game, period. And if it's the latter, then I don't see why Microsoft would put money into developing a game that will eventually come out to a competitor console, the PS4. So I won't be surprised if, in a similar fashion to Titanfall, that that as of right now it's planned to come out on other consoles, but I could see Microsoft being in negotiations to try to lock it up, to try to make it the only console to have the game and leave the PS4 out, similar to Titanfall, because Titanfall at one time was eventually going to come out to other platforms outside of the Xbox One, but then Microsoft locked it up and made it so that the PlayStation, the PS4 wouldn't get Titanfall. So overall, we'll see what happens with this deal. It was, it's still getting talked about a lot on gaming forums and gaming sites, and it was a really big announcement, I would say, and it's gonna be remembered when this gen is over. When we look back at this gen, this announcement will be something that we'll remember as probably the earliest big announcement for this gen in terms of gaming exclusives. Alright, and to end this edition of the D-Pad Discourse, the NPD stats for July were released last week, and the PS4 beat the Xbox One in overall sales again for America. The PS4 sold about 50,000 units more than the Xbox One in July, but both the Xbox One and the PS4 were under 200,000 for the month, which isn't surprising since neither console had a really big exclusive for for selling the console. And the PS4 had The Last of Us remastered, but that came out really late in July. And speaking of The Last of Us remastered, The Last of Us remastered was the top selling game for July in America in the NPD. And it's funny because it released in July for the last week. It was only out in July for a couple of days, and it got the top spot. And it kind of reminds me of Mario Kart back when it released during its month. So that's really good. But at the same time, there was really nothing in July that was a big game outside of The Last of Us remastered. So we'll see what happens in August this month, since it's another kind of slow month. But there's a few more big multi-platform releases. And also, on top of that, the Xbox One has the Madden bundle. I don't know how well that will do, but that should make things closer in terms of the gap, especially since August isn't really that big of a month in terms of console sales anyway. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. But overall, again, like I said in previous editions of the D-Pad Discourse, you shouldn't really expect consoles to do that well when there aren't that many, big games for the consoles during the month. So we're getting right into the fall, getting closer to the fall, getting closer to bigger games and bigger releases. So it's going to be interesting to see how these consoles do as these weeks and months go by. But I'm really interested in seeing how both of them do, because both of them have a lot of good games coming to them during these next few months. So I'm hoping that both of them do really well, but we'll see what happens. Alright, now it's another edition of the D-Pad Discourse. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was later than usual, but I've been really busy, so I hope you guys don't mind. And plus, a really big piece of news came out last week, and I wanted to get the full details of everything. I wanted to wait it to see what, in terms of Tomb Raider, I wanted to see what Microsoft would say, and I wanted to see, just overall, I just wanted my video to be up to date and not be outdated as soon as I put it up. So hopefully you guys understand that, and hopefully you guys will come back next week. Until then, Brad Davis saying goodbye, everybody.